As I said yesterday, business as usual has got to end here in the state government. For far too long, we've had insider deals and cronyism. That's ruled the day here. It's caused the people of our state to lose faith in government, and that has undermined people's willingness to help the government in its mission. And we need help from the people. We've got to have confidence because we're going to be asking for sacrifice. And we people need folks to have more confidence in our government than they have today. It's essential that we improve ethics and accountability. We need to regain our good name. So, starting today, state employees, while serving in the executive branch, will not be allowed to negotiate for employment or compensation with a lobbying entity or with a lobbyist, which they are unfortunately allowed to do today. Any former employee of my administration will not be allowed to lobby for 1 year after they leave government. That's good practice. Most states have that. The federal government has that, at least 1 year, and we should put in 1 year restriction immediately. We actually decided to move the effective date of this to February 15th because many folks in the Quinn administration are interested in moving into lobbying firms, and there was going to be a flood of departures. Shows how powerful this is, and rather than be bereft of transition help, we decided to delay the implementation date. I will also say that we have let it be known that this was going to be our policy in our administration, and that has made it more challenging to recruit certain people into government because they say, wow, can't come in, work for a little while, and then go back out and make money based upon my relationships and my insider dealings. Shows how meaningful this is. This is a big deal. This has an impact on behavior. We are also restricting gifts, very strongly restricting gifts to state employees, their spouses, or immediately family members living with that employee. We are directing all of our agencies to fully cooperate with any questions, any requests from the Federal Hiring Monitor. We want the Federal Hiring Monitor's impact to be felt not only within IDOT, but also in every agency. We want that thought process and the issues to be dealt with throughout the government. And then lastly, we are taking steps to strengthen the economic interest statements and increase the disclosure within the economic interest statements. These are all steps that we can take starting today to get our state back on the right track and restore more confidence for the people of Illinois in our government.
I'm the sponsor of a bill that would put in place a prohibition on members of the legislature becoming lobbyists. 37 other states already have that in place. The federal government has it in place. Every editorial board in the state is supportive of a revolving door ban. My bill over the last 3 years has been killed in subcommittee every single time. But you know, my legislation, sponsored by Senator Heather Staines in the Senate, a Democrat, and this is a bipartisan issue. We look forward to working with the governor in a bicameral way to improve ethics and transparency in the state.
It's important for people in Illinois to understand that members of the General Assembly know that ethics knows no party. Ethics doesn't know socioeconomic classes. Ethics doesn't know race. We intend to file a bunch of that legislation tomorrow that will include a gift ban act for the General Assembly, will include the revolving door legislation, and will also include a lot of the reforms that my former colleagues suggested years ago when the Reform Commission was down here in terms of giving us a grand jury for public corruption and making our mail fraud laws a lot stronger.
Well, what we are going to do, because it's been clear that there has been some inappropriate decisions, whether it's with appointments or with reclassifying employees, what we're going to do is across the board cancel all appointments. We are going to cancel all hires, cancel all, rescind all the actions that the governor's taken since November 1st. For some appointments, we may decide to reappoint. For some actions, we may decide to reinstitute, but we want to rescind everything we possibly can and take a fresh, hard look where we can take time. Well, my understanding is that Governor Quinn decided to not go ahead and approve some of the pending licenses that have been applied for. What we now need to do is get immersed in the process and learn exactly the status. How's it been managed? How's it been run? And look at whether we need to change anything that's occurred. I have a concern, I expressed my concern during the campaign, that it looked like some folks had left the administration. They were playing lobbying roles. They were working with some of their friends to get some of these contracts. I'm concerned about the process. I don't think it's been run well. I want to enforce the laws of the state, and that particular law is on the books. I want to make sure that it's managed and run properly. Beyond that, we'd have to just assess the situation. It's livable. That's a subjective term. It's really tragic what's happened. That's the people's house. The floors are buckled. You can't even come in the front, the real entrance. Furniture's been damaged. There's plaster fall out of the ceiling. And the elevator doesn't work. We should be able to have folks who are disabled and not able to use the stairs to be able to come to the second floor. It's a travesty.
Tonight
and we're gonna fix it. Where did we stay last night? Yeah, we've been staying at a hotel in town for the last 3 nights. So tonight will be our first night.
One, do you?
Well, so we want to just undo what Governor Quinn's done here in the last few months, because we have too much evidence that he was not making decisions that were good for the people for the long term. And then but we will very promptly and expeditiously be assessing folks and reappointing those that make sense. Some of the folks who were identified could make good sense, but many might not. We just want to assess the situation and make the right decision for the long term.